owner of Vertech IT Services. And with me, I've got Bevan, and we're here to talk about the development of Vertech's new logo, where we're from and where we're going to. And I thought this would be a great opportunity for Bevan to tell us a bit about Shout & Co.
Awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity, obviously, to work in your brand and to talk with you here today. Yeah, a bit about Shout & Co. I always tell people that we are visual storytellers, or at least we aid in businesses and individuals being able to tell their story visually online and wherever else. Initially, the business started out just doing photography, and then we sort of branched out into videography when that was becoming a thing and a vibe online in the not too distant past. And then we saw an opportunity to aid in the design space as well, which is, I guess, where we worked together recently with Vertech. We do copywriting, and we work with a range of businesses like the likes of Foursquare and Pitstop and what have you that are currently on our books. And yeah, it's all just to do with, how to tell a brand story with visuals, whether that be actual visuals or graphics that are developed. Yeah, to tell the brand story online and elsewhere. So that's us.
Yeah. So Vertech had a logo that I paid $165 for back in 2010 when we first got going with the business, and we had the rights to keep pretty much the branding as we had from the company I bought it from, but I didn't want to shake the cats out of the tree by changing anything too much hard out straight away. However, 15 years later, it's starting to get a bit stale, and I felt like we needed a bit of a change. So the old brand, and I'll share out my screen, I already have, very simple logo. It was a little bit garish, but hey, that's something about my color choices and me being a ginger. That's what I liked. But it's time to grow things up, because Vertech is we're going to press the gas pedal of taking what we have to the market and looking to acquire more of the kind of ideal clients that we're looking for whom we do the best type of job in the IT support and cybersecurity space. So did you want to go through, Bevan, like the process that we went through, just kind of quickly to let people know how this kind of thing works?
Yeah, sure. So generally what happens is we try to get to what is the problem we're trying to solve. So like you mentioned, the historical logo and the fact that you felt like it needed a bit of a refresh and, to bring it into not only where you are currently, but also where you'd like to take the brand to. So there's a bit of an exploration and a discovery process. Part of that is looking at what, I guess, are other logos out there that might be inspiring or things that you'd like to lean into. Also, the color palette is hugely important. And so there's a process we go through with that as well to make sure that, I guess, from an industry perspective, and I guess within which this brand would sit, it's honoring that industry component, but also the personality of the organization. So, the viewers are watching here will see eventually the output that we managed to deliver, and how then that still aligns with the colors that are also personally a vibe for you as an individual, and I guess, heading up the organization at the moment. So yeah, there's a mood board, a color palette, and then eventually we get into some design options. And that just gives us a sense of, okay, now that we've sort of got the realm, how can we start carving out the territories, and which area do we want to go down based on effectively a gut feel, and also referenced against where we imagine the brand to be in future. And obviously, as we're talking about this, I'm sure we'll cover the technical hurdle that we needed to surmount, and how we then dial it back and sort of went back to the brand's DNA to get a solution. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. But yeah, in terms of the process, as you can see on the screen, it's a mood board initially. Then we look at the color specifically, and then we do a few logo developments, and then eventually we put that all together once the logo is selected into a brand book with a few rules, and just to make sure that whoever then works with the logo,
Mm.
whether it be an apparel organization or a print company, that they then apply the logo correctly and that it best represents the brand.
That's right, because when we've gone out to get a bit of marketing materials and that kind of stuff, we had lots of gaps in what we had in terms of uh, what would go well with setting up a website or putting in the multiple layers. It's because it's we're just doing the IT stuff, right?
Yeah.
We aren't creatives in any way. So having people that we can work with who can actually work through this with us was awesome. And I won't go through all the various variations that we came through, except for them sliding past. We did have a couple that we really loved, but what it came down to is that when one of the tools that we use for protecting our clients is in the realm of securing email and linking it through to the brand identification, specifically BIMI. And before you can apply to get that protection in place, you have to submit it and make sure that it's trademarked. And then when we put the image through the IPON's Intellectual Property of New Zealand website, found that it looked too close to another company in the digital space. So we took it back to the drawing board, and I think this was the best part about it, is that rethinking about it again. We looked at what our values were and then reimagined it, right?
Yeah, and I think this is where I guess I'll jump in, because I remember the phone call that we had after the email that you had shared just about the research that you had done, and I think Verbatim was the other brand that sort of started to look similar. I think it was a mirror flip of I guess the V device. And immediately I was like, okay, how can we creatively solve for this? And the thing that I'm always go back to is, okay, what's the brand's DNA? And so this is literally taken from the Vertech website. The first one is 100% hack-free cybersecurity, so to give you peace of mind, the responsiveness, the teamwork, and then no technobabble. So having gotten to know you over time, and you're just a straight shooter. And I think that's what the market needs more of in this space, where there's so many people who can sort of woo you with these words from the digital and the tech space, but actual fact, what people really want is just a straight shooter to say that, will this thing created that you provide for me, will it work, and can I trust it? And so when looking at those values, and thanks for bringing that up on screen, my brain automatically sort of thinks in pictures. And so I started to drill down into those sort of those 5 components listed literally on the website. And slowly, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, there's some elements that come through in a circular device, but also in a triangulated device, that eventually, as we go through this, you'll see it layer up into what the eventual proposed logo and the ultimately accepted logo was. And so drilling it down and distilling it down like one would do a whiskey, not that I'm a distiller, but I would imagine that this is the process where you distill it right down, and eventually this was the chosen, and I guess the winning logo.
And we knew it straight away. When you sent it through, it was like, hell yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was what I feel like. A lot of the times you get lots of options in life, and you've got to nail it down to what's a hell yeah, not just it's and you nailed it with that. And we were pretty chuffed about that. And you gave us the dark mode, white mode options.
Also a gradient, non-gradient option for apparel purposes.
That's right.
And then also, if we just stay on this particular page, so sort of I mentioned there, or the company was definitely a group effort. The 100% guarantee, I said, we said the device mimics out of a sundial. I know you personally don't dig a sundial, but maybe a compass, because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
more accurate than is a sundial. Security, basically mimicking that of a radar. So, the company, is constantly monitoring the environment for threats. The connectivity, it has a subtle reference to what is now the Wi-Fi, universally the Wi-Fi sort of device. Being integral, it showcases how Vertech is part of the business, so literally a piece of the pie. And then also the speed component, so how a motor vehicle's engine or throttle, or it features through the speedometer, so these are
Mm.
all things that are literally, if you look at that device, are housed within. And I think is a great story to tell, or at least a visual device that tells the values story of
Mm.
Vertech as a brand and as a business.
Beauty. So yeah, we're moving forward into the future of that. We got given a brand book that shows up all of those options in there, as well as the font and various guidelines as to how it should or can be used. And yeah, no, which really makes it easy for us when I'm going out to market and saying, hey, I need a sign writer to do this, or I need embroidery on this shirt, or I'm getting marketing widgets from a website. Very, very simple. And from a marketing assistant, she's been loving that too as we go through, and we've redone the website with the new colors. So that's looking great. So yeah, how can people get hold of you if they're looking to do a similar process for themselves?
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity to punt our little business. Yeah, so shoutandco.com or Shout and Co on Instagram if you wanted to check out some of the visuals that we do. Pippa, who's the director of Shout and Co, often is on Instagram just sharing either behind the scenes or some finished product that we've managed to capture, and also brands that we work with. But yeah, shoutandco.com is your best. How do you say, online portal to see
Hmm.
what we're about and how we could assist. Yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. Great stuff.
Oh,
Cheers, Bevan.
cheers, Daniel. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
worries,
Thank
mate.
you.